Hello, so today we are going to work on R control vowels, AR or R. The first lesson we will do is our phonemic awareness. I will say the sound and you will blend it together into the word. So our first word is R. Far, good job. Our second word is R. Star, good job. Our next word is mark. Mark, good job. And our last word is start. Start, good job. Now it's your turn. I'm going to say the word and you are going to segment it out. So our first word is jar. J-R, good job. Our next word is cart. Art. Good job. Now, our next word is part. Art. Very good. Now, our last and final word is hard. Ard. Hard. Good job. Now, for our next part. The visual drill. Remember, when I hit next on the slide, you look with your eyes and wait for me to point to you, and you will say the sound. You only say the sound of the letter. You do not say the letters' names. For our vowels, we are going to use our long vowel sound, okay? So here we go. Our slide. Good job. Good job. What is this called? This is a trigraph. Good job. What are trigraphs? Trigraphs are 3 letters, 1 sound. Good job. G. Good job. This one's a little tricky. What do you think? Ch. Very good. Ch. Very good. K. Short and sweet. I like that. Good job. Remember, long vowel. A. Good job. I. Perfect. O. E. You guys are doing amazing. What is this? Nk. Good job. Ng. Good job. My favorite one. Shh. What is SH? SH is a digraph. And digraphs are 2 letters, 1 sound. Perfect. Here's another digraph. What's this sound? K. Perfect. You guys are amazing. Give yourself a big hug. Now it's our auditory drill. Now I'm going to say the sound and you are going to get your expo marker and write it down. Do not let your friends see it, okay? Keep it covered. And when I say reveal, you're going to let me see it and I'm going to let you know if you're right or not. Okay, our first sound is R. Remember, keep it covered. Reveal. Good job. Our next sound, remember we're doing long vowel sounds, is E. Keep it covered. Good job. Good job, everyone. Now our next sound has 2 ways to write it. So you need to have 2 different versions, okay? So I. This one's a little tricky. Okay, reveal. Good job. It's I and Y. Perfect. Okay, our next sound that I'm going to give you has 3 different ways to write it. I need to see all 3, okay? So keep it covered and do your very best. J. Okay, reveal. Good job. We've got J, G and DGE. Good job, everybody. Okay, now our next sound has 2 ways to write it. So be sure to put on your thinking brain. Okay, you ready? Ch. Good job. Let's see, reveal. Perfect. CH and TCH both say ch. Our next one can be written 2 different ways. The sound is ch. Ch. Keep it covered. Good job. Reveal. Good job, everybody. T and then ED. We'll get into that later. So T and ED both say ch. Our next way can also be written 2 ways. So listen and use your thinking brain. D. Okay, reveal. We got D and ED. There's another ED. You'll notice there's different ways to say ED. So our next sound is S. This is written 3 different ways, so I should see 3 different ways you can write S. Okay, reveal. Good job. It's S, SS, and C8. Oh, my fault. S, SS, and C. I got ahead of myself. Our next sound only can be written 1 way. And remember, we're doing long vowel sounds, not short. Long. A. Reveal. Good job. Now our next one is O. Reveal. Good job, everybody. Give yourself a big old hug. Now our next part. Blending drill. Okay. So this is the part where I use today's tiles to spell a word, and you guess the word. Let's see. I'm looking for S. Okay, let's sound it out. S, N, A, Ch. Snatch. Good job. Okay, what happens if I change snatch into, what if I take out the A and put in an I? Ooh, let's sound this out. S, N, itch. Snitch. Perfect. Okay. What happens if I take out the N and put in a W? Ooh. Let's sound this one out. S-w-itch. Switch. Good job. Okay, what happens if I take the S away? We've got w-itch. Which. Very good. Okay, what happens if I take the W away? We've got itch. Itch. Perfect. What if I take away the TCH and give it an IT? What sound is that? Let's sound them out. It. It. Perfect. Now, what if I put an L in front of it? What will it be? Let's sound it out. It. Lit. Good job. Now, what happens if I watch this. What happens if I put an E on the end of lit? Let's sound it out. It. No. What does that E make that I do? Say its name. Good job. I. Light. That's a magic E. Good job. What happens if I change the T into a C? We'll sound this out. Remember, the E makes the I say its name. Perfect. L, I, S. Lice. Good job. Okay. Now, what happens if I change the I into A? Let's sound this out. Remember, magic E makes the A say its name. So, L, A, S. Lace. Perfect. Okay, our next word, what happens if I change the L to a R? Let's see. Let's sound this out. R, A, S, race. Perfect. What happens if I change race into, change that C into a G? G. Let's sound it out. R, A, G. Rage. Perfect. Our next, look. What if I change that R into a W? What's going to happen? Let's sound this out. Ooh, A, J, wage. You guys are so smart. Okay, what happens if I take the E off? Will the A still say its name? No, good job. So let's sound it out. Ooh, ag, wag. Good job, you guys. What happens if I change the W to a B? It's going to say ag, bag. Good job. Ooh, I'm going to make this a longer word. I'm going to take away that G and add DGE. Remember, that's a triograph. 3 letters, 1 sound. You ready? B-adge. Badge. Good job. Okay. Let's change the A to a U. Let's sound this word. Budge. Budge. Perfect. Then our next word would be I almost told you. Let's sound it out. Nudge. Perfect. Now our last and final word, look, I'm going to change the N to a F. And we've got fudge. Fudge. Good job, everybody. Let me put my letters back. Kiss that beautiful brain. Okay, let's see. Okay, good job on blending drills. Now we're going to learn our new concept. Remember when we learned the R sound? Let's see. R. It was a tricky sound. When we put the R sound after a vowel, it completely changes the way the vowel sounds. It makes what we call an R-controlled vowel. The R-controlled vowel AR usually represents the R sound. AR can come in the middle of a word, such as bark and part. AR can sometimes come at the end of a word, such as far and star. AR can sometimes come at the beginning of the word, such as art and arm. Okay, let's try to make the R sound. The R sound is an R-controlled vowel for the R sound. We start with our jaw dropped and our mouth open, almost making the O sound, as in hot. So it's almost making the ah sound. Then we raise the sides of our tongues and partially close our mouth to make the R part sound. Your voice is on. Listen. R, R, R. This sound is continuous, so the sound can be stretched Watch me. R. See, it's continuous. It doesn't cut off like k. See how k and R is continuous? Okay, your turn. Good job. Okay, let's write together. Watch. Let's skip that part. And watch me read this. Part. Start. Now let's read together. Look at the words. Say them in your mind, and then we'll say them together. So read them in your mind first. Do not say them out loud. Okay, you ready? Far, car, hard, star, bark, dark, and bark. I'm reading it backwards, so it looks a little different from my side. Okay, let's read this together. Large, marble, target. Watch me spell. Let me move that out of the way. Okay. What word is this? Let's sound it out. R, K. Mark. Good job. Okay, let me spell our next one, which is, let me see if I can write it backwards. I'm not going to try. Okay. What word is this? Farm. Good job. Okay, now it's your turn to spell. Okay, remember, we're going to get our dry erasers, our dry erase markers, and our erasers. We're going to keep our words covered. I'm going to say it and you spell it. Our first word is jar. Jar. J-R. Jar. Okay, reveal. Good job. How do we spell jar? J. J. A. R. Good job. Okay. Our next word, erase and celebrate if you got it right. Yard. Yard. Y-ard. Yard. Reveal. Perfect. Y-A-R-D. Good job. Okay, our next word is start. Start. Think about it. S-T-R-T. Start. Good job. Reveal.
Miss, can you come to the front office, please?
Start. Good job. Okay, our next word is march. Sound it out. Okay, reveal. Good job. It's M-A-R-C-H. Good job. Okay. Word work. Okay, now you get to have one of these cool boards, one of today's tiles. Okay. I'm going to say a word and you spell it. Our first word is art. Art. R. We got to put the R together. Then we're going to say ch. Art. Perfect. Now we're going to change art into dart. D. What do we add at the beginning? Good job. Dart. I love how you guys are working. Good job. Okay. Okay, now let's change dart into mart. Art. What do you think goes first? What sound says Correct. It's M-A-R-T. Mart. I love it. Okay. Now we're going to change mart into mark. So let's take away that T. And what should we add on the end? As a k, k, k. The K. Good job. I know sometimes it may sound like CK, but this time we just use K. Very good. Now let's change mark into park. You should only be changing one tile. Good job, everybody. What comes first? P-A-R-K. Park. I love it. Okay, our next word, let's change. Ooh, I got ahead of myself. Our next word is cart. Cart. How many tiles do you think we should change this time? Cart. Good job. Which letter says K? The C. Good job. Perfect. Let's change cart into card. Duh. Is this correct? Yeah, good job. Card. Card. Good job, everyone. Let's change card into yard. How many letters do you think we're changing this time? You think we're changing the beginning, middle, or end? Yard, card to yard. That's correct. We're changing the beginning. Card into yard. Look at that. E-R-D. Yard. Perfect. Now let's change yard into barn. Barn. How many tiles do you think we should change? 2. Very good. Let's change the beginning. And then let's change the... Do you think we should change the middle? B-R-N? No. Good job. What should go on the end? Barn. N. Perfect. Barn. I love it. Okay. Our next word is bark. Bark. We should change barn into bark. Let's change the ending. Very good. Bark. Perfect. Let's change bark into shark. Shark. Let's change the very beginning. Remind me again what SH is? It's my favorite diagraph. Shark. Shark. Good job. You've done so well. Good job. Okay, now we're going to read our story. Let's read it together. Bart makes a pretty card in art class. Okay, let's read it again one more time. Bart, I didn't mean to do that. Bart makes a pretty card in art class. Now it's your turn to read. Good job. Now we are looking for the AR words. Do you see any AR words in this? You do? Good job. We've got Bart, B-R-T. We've got the AR right here. I keep doing that. I'm sorry. Okay, we've got one. Do we see any more? You see one more? Okay, which one? Art? Perfect. Art. Art. It's at the beginning. This one's in the middle. Do we see any more AR words? You do? One more? Card. Perfect. Okay, look at this one. Read it in your mind, and then we'll read it together, and then I'll let you read out loud. Okay, you ready? My dog loves going on car rides to the... Whoop, wrong way. Well, we'll just leave it at that. To the park. There it is. Silly me. My dog loves going on car rides to the park. Okay, now it's your turn. Good job. Okay, remember, we're looking for AR words. Look at it for a minute and tell me if you see any AR words. You see one? Which word is it? You see car? Good job. R, car. Perfect. Okay, keep looking. Do we see any more? You see one more? Park. Perfect. Park. Okay, do we see any more? Is that all? I think that's all. You done amazing. Let's read our last sentence. The cat was playing with some yarn in the backyard. Very good. Let's read it one more time together. The cat was playing with some yarn in the backyard. Perfect. Now you read together as a group. Good job, everyone. Okay, remember we're looking for AR words. Do you see any? You do? Which ones? Yard, backyard. Good job. That's an AR. That's a big word. We talked about this last week. What is it when you have two words pushed together? It's a compound word. Good job, backyard. Do we see any more AR words? Let's look at it. I see one more. You do? Yarn. Perfect. You guys done so good. Give that brain a beautiful kiss. Okay, decodable text. This is hard to see on the phone and the recording. Usually I give the students a printout of this, so they will have their own handout. Okay, the garden, and they will read it first in their mind to themselves, and then we'll come back and read it together. The garden. Omar loves to be in his garden on his farm. While it is still dark, he drags his old cart across the yard to the barn. He fills the cart with plants for the garden. When he gets to the garden, he looks at the plants one by one. Okay, what's the story about? Omar and his garden. Okay, so since you have your handout, I want you to take your highlighter and highlight any AR words that you see. So I would give the students time to look for the AR words and highlight those words. And then we're going to come back together and talk about the AR words that they found in this text. So let's talk about the AR words that you found. I see one in the title. Do you see one in the title? Garden. Garden. Perfect. Let's see if we see any in the first sentence. Omar loves to be in his garden on his farm. Do you see any? Farm, arm, Omar, and garden. Perfect. Let's look at the next sentence. While it is still dark, he drags his old cart across the yard to the barn. How many do we see in that one? Let's count them. We've got dark, that's one. Drags is not AR, it's RA, so don't count that one. Cart, that's the second one. Yard is the third one, and barn is the fourth one. So we had 4 AR words in that sentence. Let's look at our next one. He fills the cart with plants for the garden. Ooh, I see a bunch in this one too. He fills the cart. That's one. Cart. Oh, goodness. With plants for the garden. So we had 2 in those, garden and cart. When he gets to the garden, he looks at the plants one by one. How many do we see in that one? Can anybody tell me? We've got garden, that's good. I think that's all of them. You guys done amazing. Okay, our next part would be our assessment. So the students would get an assessment and see how well they have learned AR words. Then after the assessment, they would have a roller read. Well, not necessarily after the assessment, but during like small group or centers, they have a chance to work on this roll and read to practice their AR words. Then throughout the week, I give this to take home so they can practice this at home, their AR words. So thank you. I hope you learned a lot.